Welcome back, everyone, to some more ESL Challenger League action from the EU division of Season 47. We kicked it off yesterday, and we've got one more match to bring you as well today. It's Group D this time for me, Trav, and Hayes alongside me to bring you, and it's going to be 9 versus Sangal. Looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to see the group opening up, and it's always really important to start off your campaign in a positive fashion, right? You want to start with a win here in Season 47. You don't want to be on the back foot from the word go. So it's about setting the pace here, setting the expectations going forward as well. And I'm looking forward to this game. I'm looking forward to the season, right? It's such an important part of the calendar for all these teams competing.
Absolutely, and talking about it being important, it's going to be important for both of these two teams to get off to the good start that you mentioned, but it might be a bit harder for one of the two, which of course we will get on to in a little bit. But maybe we're going to, as it's still very early on in the season, we're going to have a quick look at the format, of course. It's still it's changed a little bit from previous seasons. We've got a lovely little graphic to show you here. I say little graphic. It's quite a big graphic, but it has all the information you could ever wish to have on it.
Certainly a populated graphic. The main takeaway is you can't be eliminated from the first stage. It's just about setting the seeds for the second stage, and that's where all the action will go down. So it's important to keep that in mind. First stage, essentially just a round robin. Everybody plays each other once, and then from there, we get the seeds going into stage 2. That's the main takeaway, Trav.
Yeah, and we can have a quick look at the groups now as well to see actually who will be playing this season. If you weren't here yesterday and you haven't been keeping up to date with who is involved in Challenger League in the EU division this time. 4 separate groups, of course, as we said. And Group A, we covered yesterday. We saw
Yes.
managed to just about squeak an opening win against Rush B. Group B has got some big names in it, like Fours and Apex, for example, and 3D Max as well. Paravision have got some big names on that team, but that's what a squad that I'm looking to improve this season because they've kind of been nowhere in open qualifiers recently, sadly. And Group D, where we're focusing today, has a lot of big names, including 2 squads in Movistar Koya 9 Pandas who have recently qualified for the major. So I think Group D is a bit of D for death.
I mean, yeah, fitting, right? It is the group that I highlighted yesterday as well, but there's just a lot of teams across the board here. And remember, there's only 2 spots up for grabs in ESL Pro League, season 20, I want to say?
So, yeah.
It could be off the mark there. Either way, there's only 2 spots. There's so many names. It'd be really tough to pick 2 favorites. But either way, it is going to be entertainment and action-packed, which is what we're all about, mate. That's what we're here for.
Of course. And we can have a quick chat about the matchup now, of course, today as well, because there's quite a few things to talk about this matchup. I mean, we all know Sangal, but their roster is very different these days. Salsal, Xfloud, Ganginio, Youngstar, and Linus. Of course, we all know Linus from the NIP days and so many editions of that Young Ninjas roster. Ganginio, of course, was on that Iron Branch team that played in ESL Challenger League in the past. Xfloud is known from Eternal Fire. I've always been a bit of a fan of Xfloud. I think he's quite an underrated player. So it'll be very interesting to see how he does on this team. First time I'll be casting them tonight. But 9, Hayes, are a little bit all over the place, sadly, for multiple reasons.
Yeah, probably a pretty good way to describe it, right? But it makes sense because they were gutted of their best players. So, you know, you can't really blame them. 3 of their best players got picked up and signed by Ents. And they just turned Glaive into an honorary Polish IGL, as far as I can tell, Lucas. So, yeah, listen, it is tough for 9 having to try and rebuild themselves. Of course, they have maintained or retained, should I say, their IGL. Minio is still in the mix. Kai is the other player who's still a part of the setup. Norot was coaching the previous team, but now he's been slotted into the player role. I'm not sure how solid that is because they've actually got another coach on HLTV, Mini Rocks, and if they were planning for Norot to go back to the coach slot, then surely they wouldn't have picked up another coach, right? So does that tell us that Norot might be leaning into becoming one of the players in the team?
I'm not sure. I think, as far as I understand, it's experimental season for 9. I mean, after losing their old core, like you say, they're trying again with Minio, with this team, with the team with MHL and Bambosh. They failed to qualify even for the RMR closed qualifier stage. So, yeah, they're on a 5-match losing streak at the moment as well. I believe Nora is only here to keep the core and the slot from last season, if I'm not mistaken. I could be right on that one. But yeah, and of course, I believe Bambosh was recently announced to go to Nine's Academy as more of a development player. But of course, when needs must, he's been brought back for this official tonight. So if anything could go against 9, I feel like it kind of is so at the moment for them, which is why I think Sangal are probably the favourites. We can have a look at the Veto anyway, though. To see where we'll be playing, of course, today. And I think, whatever the Veto goes, 9, they're just going to have to focus on their individuals having a good day. We're going to have a look at it now. Sangal have gone for Ancient. That is one of their recent strong maps. They've had some decent wins in Tier 2 on that. And 9 have picked Vertigo. And now with whatever roster 9 have had, reading 9 pick Vertigo is a very common theme over the past year or two. So it's nice to see that. They get a home, but not really with the roster they want.
Exactly, probably doesn't carry the same sort of gravity that it did previously, right? However, it does still bode well for them because it's a map that hasn't really looked that good for Sangal lately. Played it 6 times in the past 3 months, only winning it on 1 occasion. And yeah, that goes back to the start of the month. So could be a chink in the armor. I mean, to be fair to their opponents, to be fair to Sangal, the losses have been narrow. So it still, should be competitive to say the least. Obviously, as you say, first pick coming through for Sangal, that is going to be Ancient, and that is going to be a really good map for them as well, right? It just kind of fits their play style. It's something they've looked good on in recent times as well, so should certainly lean in their direction.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's quite a lot of Sangal's players have quite a storied past. I mean, I mentioned Xfloud, of course, with Eternal Fire. He was actually one of my favourite players in terms of how underrated I felt like he was on that team. Of course, now, with how good Eternal Fire look at this point, we can say, okay, obviously, for once, Eternal Fire made the right decision. Mercadio is unbelievable. And that team is now looking bona fide S tier at this point. But yeah, I mean, Youngstar, of course, made a name for himself on Medisport. So yeah, that sort of little Swedish core, I guess they have there with Linus, as there's some synergy there to work with. And Salsal, of course, has been on multiple rosters, like EU mixes in the past, like Mad Lions, for example. So Sangal is his next chance as well.
Yeah, and I think he still has a lot to give to a team. I think the one player who I'm the most excited about in this Sangal roster is actually Ganginio. The first time I saw him coming into the pro scene was when he was playing for Iron Branch alongside like Sad, Masvel as well, Knifey, and they were just coming out of nowhere and winning a bunch of these games, some of the CCT tournaments as well. And then Ganginio moved on. He actually put out a tweet saying, listen, I'm open to offers in North America. And there were a bunch of people like, mate, I don't think that that should be anything you consider at this point. But he's really ended up in a great place now, a great home, playing for Sangal with some, as you say, storied players, some decent experience there as well, an organization that's proven they know what it takes to be successful. And they've also got a new coach, Trav, which is something we haven't touched on, right? Jumpy, previously working with Fnatic, and I think maybe he did some work with Godsent as well. And now he's going to be playing or coaching Sangal, so that's really exciting, I reckon.
Yeah, it's actually a cool name to be involved with this roster. Jumpy's been around for a long time, yeah, so some good experience there. Our predictions for this one: if 9 had maybe signed 2 players, for example, they recently played a match in a different tournament with Samey and Sobble, the ex-Honoris and Anonymo guys, as 2 stand-ins who were like vague tryout players. If they were playing with them today, I would give them a bit of a glimmer of hope with the situation they have now, playing with the former coach and playing with a youngster that's only recently was involved with 9 at all anyway. I think Sangal is the obvious choice, and that's where we're both going.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right, Trav. I will let you speak for me on this occasion because there's no way I'm laying my hat on 9. Not for this map, the second, or the series. It's that simple. Sangal have got an exciting group of players, and I think that this could be their season, There's quite a young group of players that have come together here in Sangal, at least in terms of Youngster and Linus as well. Average age is 21.6. Think about Jumpy, just to go back to that now. He's 37 years old. I saw he worked with G2, and I checked now North as well. So he has got so much experience now to bring to this team and guide them, right? Steekel was previously coaching this team, the previous bad New Zealand coach it was at that time. But I'm really excited to see what Jumpy can do with this team then, and see what sort of heights he can take them to. Yeah,
because of course some of Sangal's older pieces, the likes of a Soulfly and a Kyubi, of course, who is now in Fnatic. Exactly. They were 2 of my absolute favourite players at this sort of level of CS. Honestly, I was a huge fan of those 2. And yeah, it's nice to see they have at least a little bit of Turkish blood still in them, of course, with Xfloud. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. They are definitely the favourites for today, but we'll see how that will pan out. We're going to go to a quick break. When we're back, we'll get live into the first map of this series. Welcome back, guys. We're about a minute away from getting underway tonight with more ESL Challenger League action in EU. Season 47 only really just got underway yesterday, and now we're going to focus on Group D, of course, one of the toughest groups in this season. So yeah, we're really fascinated to see how it gets underway. And of course, we were touching on some of Sangal's players, and we were talking about Nine as well. One thing I think is worth talking about is Linus, of course, as well, because he's still very young. He's only 21. He was on Young Ninjas for so long. He had that stand-in period with the main roster of NIP, and he won IEM Fall back in 2021 with that team, of course, when they had Device, Hampus, Rez, Plopsky on that roster. And yeah, we thought maybe he'd be set on that team for a very long time after that, considering that success, but it didn't really pan out that way for him.
Yeah, I think it's there's an exciting period ahead, right? I think he can really take the reins of this roster as well and really make it his own, you know, kind of spread his wings from the previous teams where he'd maybe, you know, been associated with an academy vibe, and now he can graduate right into the real world. I always see academy teams as like a university or something like that, and then once you go from an academy team into a real world team, then you've graduated into the real world and you've earned your stripes, you know? So, yeah, hopefully it's going to be a success here. I'm looking forward to it, man. I think it's going to be tough for Nine to be competitive in this match. I mean, they do have some good players, but they know that their backs are against the wall, and it's going to take quite a lot from some of the players we know less about. I mean, Tomiko, he's been around for a while. We know what he brings to the table, but as for their newer player, I mean, I'm keen to see what he's going to be bringing, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, it's going to be pretty interesting. I mean, Bambosh has been included in Nine's recent team that they tried to use to make it through the RMR Open qualifiers, get to the closed qualifier, but they couldn't even get to the close, sadly. Of course, once they lost the old core to ENTS, that's when they decided to bring back Minio and try again to see if he can lead another group of Polish players to success, but it hasn't really worked out as well. I actually really liked the pickup of MHL I thought he was always very underrated, but didn't really work out in this team, sadly. So, yeah, definitely a shame in that sense. We might be slightly delayed with the start of the game because I believe we are changing server quickly, so we can have a bit of a waffle about some of the other teams, of course. And just looking back at that tournament that, of course, Linus won, who's now, of course, playing for Sangal when he won it on NIP. Just looking at some of the teams that were playing back then, Mouse was still Dexter, Frozen, Acor, Rops, and Beamer. Rops hadn't even gone to phase yet. Astralis had Bubsky and Lucky on the team.
Wow.
OG was the Alexi, Mantu, Flames roster. G2 had Amanek and Nexa still, their first stint of Nexa. And Vitality still had Masuta, Kyojin, and Shocks, for example. So, crazy how time flies.
The main thing I'm taking away from that is how much experience he's already been able to gain, and the fact that he's only 21 years old, right? I mean, he was competing against those rosters, back in 2021 kind of thing, and he's only 21 years old, so he can really start to find his identity, or I suppose he's been finding his identity, and now he can, like I said, spread his wings and start to assert himself a little bit more with more conviction and more confidence, right? Because he's proven he has what it takes, and he's taken the time to build up into the role, and I think he's now we can really start to expect to see consistent results from him, and his style becoming a bit more prevalent as well, right?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, as you say, this is a very... There's a lot of EU mixed teams, of course. I think some people don't really like the fact that there are just tons of EU mixes in CS these days. But some of them catch the eye, and I think some of the pieces of Sangal definitely do catch the eye. I mentioned xCloud already. I always thought he was a great clutch player for Eternal Fire. And of course, you mentioned Ganginio as well, some of the older rosters he was on, like Iron Branch. And of course, he did play a little bit for Betera, I believe, when they got picked up by the organization. And Betera, of course... they are involved this season with quite a lot of those old teammates that you mentioned, like Masval, and they've got Lollipop, of course. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how he performs today. And it looks like we're going to get started. We've got a little map flyover. It is Ancient, of course, to remind you of that. Sangal picked Ancient, 9 picked Vertigo, heard that somewhere before, and Anubis will be the decider if we need to go there. And we're in the game.
It would be quite surprising if we do end up going the distance, Trav, but here we go into Ancient, the first map of the series. The opening map for both of these teams' campaign here in ESL Challenger League Season 47 EU. We've got a Zeus in the pistol. Okay, Nora. Aki, man, Tamiko. He's going to draw first blood, but that's not going to slow down Sangal.
Star will deal with Nora. That's no Zeus kill for you, my friend. Sadly, and now K is under a lot of pressure, tapping away with those dualies. He's done well to take xCloud, but he can't take a second. Bambosh is close up, and so is Minio. But Youngstar's P250 tap was glorious there. And although it was a nice start by Tamiko in this round, he's now the only one standing. 1 versus 2. Youngstar is very low, but Salsol is the insurance policy on full health here and playing that cheeky headshot angle, and they know he was only 1 bullet from death, even in the little toe. And Salsol will finish it off and pick up some dualies to boot as well. Sangal get off to a good start.
Yeah, himself and Youngster doing all the heavy lifting there. They get all 5 kills between them. Bomb plant, post plant, played out. Great work coming through from them. I like the way that Sangal don't lose their momentum after they lose a player in towards the bottom or middle. They don't like slow down and ask questions. Oh, are we still committing? Are we still going to be, you know, what's the plan? Where do we go from here? They knew there was a plan in effect, and they continued to go through with it. So that was important. Didn't get persuaded after they lost somebody early on, and now they've got a big advantage coming into the second round.
Yep, should be an easy anti-eco to clean up. So won't be touching Nora, and he's got another Zeus. Don't tell me he's going to be buying a Zeus per round in the entirety of this game. I do joke, of course. Tamiko with the Deagle removed by xFlan, and that's when Norok tries to creep his way forward. Salsar's keeping an eye on that. Mac 10's farming the dollary dues. Can xFloud get any more? He's got K close range. There are 2 in mid for Salsar to worry about. Nice little spray down. Linus will deal with the last, and that is the conversion we all expect. 9 will now bring out the guns.
Yes, this is where they're going to have to look to try and make a bit of a resistance. As I mentioned in the pre-game, this isn't a map that 9 would be too excited to be playing right now. They've played it twice in the past 3 months. One on one occasion against Koi, lost against Yano, but both of those games, Go back to January. They were part of the RMR closed qualifier, I think, was where they lost those matches. Anyway, let's see what they can do here. Season side early on, Trav. Don't have much utility, but they are looking to try and find some control towards the middle.
Southall straight out. Firework display of flashes as Linus makes his way forward. Oh, a little bit of unknown info there, perhaps for Tamika. I'm not sure he really realises that Linus has pushed up, but he's making a lot of noise now, so maybe that will be recognised. Red room control can be so important if you take mid on this map, just cutting off rotations, maybe going for flank on the other side. They'll take a step on top as the Mac end rushes up toward B. Alright, good trade, but only one for the old coach of this roster. And Minio is particularly stuck toward Cade as well. They definitely know he's there, and Youngstar will take the initiative to remove him. And already we're seeing superiority that you kind of expect from a team who actually have a 5 they know they're playing with.
And not only that, but 5 very proficient players, right? As we do see Linus coming through with the backstab. Good timing here from the IGL. If you just compare all 5 of the players pound for pound in terms of their mechanical ability, Sangal just trumped 9. And I don't even think it's that close, right? I mean, I don't really know what to expect out of Bambosh on a fragging level. I think Kai is quite clearly or comfortably the best player for 9 key. Remember Minio, it was his individual level that was one of the biggest criticisms for 9, and one of the big, I'd say, one of the ceilings that they had in terms of the level they were going to be able to get to. And we've seen that now when the core or the 3 players have Glaive at their disposal, right? My real concern here for 9 is just the lack of firepower to go toe-to-toe with Sangal.
That really, sadly, is the obvious point for sure for 9. What can they really do? And yeah, I mean, the joke is Minio walked so Glaive could run at this point. So it's like...
Yeah, I think that's true to a degree. I don't think that you could have given Minio another year. I don't think he was going to start running at all with the roster, right? So, I think you reached max speed there, Trav.
Yeah, perhaps. Forward here, could be able to catch Salzal, and does. He's definitely had the advantageous peak there, but Youngstar makes absolutely sure that the gun can't be recovered, and he knows Minio is close as well. Easy kill for Youngstar. He's quite highly regarded as well, is Mr. Youngstar. Not just a bit of a star, he is also young. It does what he says on the tin, as they say.
My only gripe with him in his name is that he has an X as the second letter and the second last letter, right? So obviously X is a variable that carries a value. Now, I'm assuming it's a U in the first instance.
Yeah.
And then an A in the second.
Yeah.
Unless it's you can't do that though, Trav. You can't use 2 different values to X.
Yeah, X has to mean the same thing, exactly. Listen, I remember my former maths tutor telling me that back in the day. So,
sorry, I just had to get that out of the way nice and early. So,
no, listen, fair enough.
Not bothering me anymore.
It's a reasonable query.
Thank you. All right, cool. Validated. Now I can continue. Now I'm content, Trav. 4-0. 9, they're not going to be content with the start they've had to Ancient here.
Especially on CT side, but looks like they are going to pull out an AWP. And guess what? It's Mr. Norot pulling out as well. Why not? The old coach, of course, if they want to give him what is still regarded as probably a zoom bang, point and click, 1 kill gun. So he can at least get 1 in situations like this, then maybe that's the way to go. He's on the line toward A. We've got Ganginho coming his way. Nice opening kill, but he's going to have to refire for another, and Youngstar knows he's really, really close. Great reaction from Nora on the second and the third. Hang on! He's legged the 4th. Bambosh is there to help. Oh, hello. The coach has still got it.
I was honestly going to say when, you said to me, okay, Norot's got the AWP here, what's the worst that could happen kind of thing, or it makes sense. I'm like, alright, I don't know about this one, Trav. I'm thinking maybe we get the AWP somewhere else, maybe someone else's hands. Thankfully, I didn't say that, though. Would have had egg all over my face. That was a great hold coming through from Norot, man. What, 3 kills and a no-scope for a leg on the 4th as well?
Yeah.
Alright. I see you, Norot.
Yeah, I got surprisingly hyped early on in this game. Usually I save my hype if it gets near overtime or something. But when the old 9 coach standing in purely because they need the core, of course, to retain the spot from last season. he does something like that, it's worthy to get excited about. Bless him. That's a beautiful hold. And a great way for 9 to get off the mark again.
Alright, well, Sangal swatted. They try and slot their way back in towards this B bomb site. Combination between Key and Minio in some forward positions, but lack of utility means they can't really maintain these positions. Time ticks on, they're going to fall back. And Sangal, they'll start to assume some space here.
Lane control, of course, for either side can be so impactful. It's a good timing on the smoke from K. That's going to stop Sangal in their tracks for now. But of course, that can be blown open these days, and that's just beautiful from Sangal. Wow. Nora had his round with the AWP, but given no chance against Xplan on the swing either. Minio only gets his 1. Tomiko needs to finish off this kill, but now he's got 9 bullets for 2 more in front of him, and it's not going to be enough. Xcloud takes a second. That's just a really nice execute. Started off by the smoke breakage, of course.
Yeah, really nice use of the HE grenade there, because it means they don't have to wait for that smoke grenade to completely dissipate before they commit, right? That's the big advantage there. Because K was in a soft position on the opposite side of that smoke, as we see Bambosh looking to fight for his life here, trying to AK and play. Unfortunately, not going to happen. Salsal emerges from the temple, sends Bambosh 6 foot under. Sangal straight back to winning ways, man. And that's the problem here for 9. All good and well having a highlight reel from Nora off their triple kill on the AWP, but then they lose the round immediately afterwards. Look at their money. Okay, at least they've got a decent buy, but they're still in troubled waters here, Trav.
They were in troubled waters before the game got underway, sadly.
This is true. But now the tide is rising.
Yeah, and they'll be rising so much. Maybe the ancient T-Spawn will be getting a little bit too wet for their boots. We'll have to
Wet
see.
socks, mate.
I know.
That's like the worst thing ever, having wet socks.
Imagine if you have wet socks and then you stand on a piece of Lego. Wouldn't that be something?
Why? That would be an awful combination. You know, like you take your wet socks off to try and get some relief, and then you stand on the Lego when your feet are all sensitive. Nah, that's
I know, right?
torture. Alright, but listen, important round here. 9. How do they go about their business? There we go. That's one way for Minio to find an opening kill. Nice little lineup there.
Yeah, I mean, Minio still knows his angles, right? Even if he maybe is not feeling his best individually and didn't look his best individually on the old roster. It's still very impactful when you are one of those players that can play Jaguar like that. I think Rain is probably one of the best players playing that spot. He knows all the wall bangs. Yeah, will get removed, but he was baiting Tomiko in. Unfortunately, it's a 2-for-1 from Sangal off the back of that. Nice expectation that Tomiko will still be there. And now K. Can he play with the smoke? Pushing a little bit deeper. One will be leapt across on the back of Xcloud. There is a nade to come over the top to maybe bait K in here. He could walk through the smoke or at least play the fade, because Nora is the one showing presence and K is not. Oh, is he ready? He saw it. He couldn't spin around in time, and Nora will manage to deal with Ganginio as well. It puts Xcloud into the open, and K takes him as well. So good round for 9, 3 alive. Something to work with.
Yeah, good retake coming through from them. I mean, Sangal wasn't really able to get back into any decent post-plant positions. Unfortunately, committed to those forward spots in the bomb site. Salsal was trusting that smoke, and he missed the timing once he went down. It was always going to be difficult. Important round going the way of the CT side there. Maintaining some sort of semblance of control, I suppose. At least for Sangal, enough money to afford another decent investment here. But nothing left in the bank after this one for either team, really.
Yeah, it's actually, some of the rounds have been relatively close, so Sangal's money, despite having 5 early doors, already a little bit stretched. Lost the numbers in that sense, so couldn't build up that economy. Just this last purchase now before they'd be in a little bit of trouble. In that 10. Maybe something a bit speedy. Minio again trying his lineups toward mid this time, not toward lane. Of course, 9 are going to have to find out their permanent additions to this team soon. And I'm very curious as to see who they're going to get. Of course, recently they played with Sobel and Samey, as I mentioned in the pre-match in another tournament. But I believe that was just temporary. So in the future, I'll be very interested to see who they build a team with. Because, of course, I'm sure they've got some form of cash after selling the core to Ents, of course. Have to see.
Yeah, and making the last CSGO major of all time being a part of those ticket capsules. Either way, Bambosh finds contact. Not favorable for him either. Tamiko tries to trade, but he just swings into traffic. Trav. He just swings straight into the highway, and he gets run over. That's not surprising.
Sadly, true. And South Soul is having a great start to this game. It's really been a good start from all Sangal, but it's him and Youngstar, and now South Soul with those 2 kills is up to double digits already. Of course, that's going to force 9 away to save. Once they have a little bit of success, each time they did, Sangal have hit straight back in the following.
Yeah, Minho now just fighting for his life. Unfortunately, not going to be afforded that luxury. And I don't think he really had the luxury himself to go for the exit kills. He prioritized keeping that AK in play a little bit more either way. That's a concern for 9. Another round they were able to win, and they lose the round immediately afterwards. So not able to build up any momentum here on the CT side. Trav not mounting any pressure on Sangal either.
Yep. At least they have a purchase, of course. The loss bonus is still pretty high. And they did survive the round they won with 3 up. So it's something. Of course, second map, 9. Have picked Vertigo, their OG home. But obviously not with the roster of players they truly want. So we're very curious to see how that works. Now this is a nice little peek from Bambosh. That works beautifully. Using the smoke. Jumping on the ledge in mid. To get up towards Shelf and get a nice little spray down there. Bit more aggression working out.
Yeah, I mean, look at the smokes on the map right now. At one point, all 5 of 9 smokes were active. At one point, you know, with a minute 20 seconds left in the round, all 5 of their smokes were currently in play, or were in play at that point. So that's quite something. And it works out for them. I mean, they're able to at least find 2 opening kills. So now their lack of utility isn't going to be too costly. They can afford to just sit back and play the long game. Ball's in Sangal's court. They're the ones who have to make the next move. I mean, they've got a lot of utility of their own, some deep pockets. Can they find this opening kill, though, without losing any further players? Meaning he doesn't have to see this lad, but he will. And it works out.
I actually know how he managed to take Ganginio instead. It was a lineup, but I expected the player in front of Ganginio to actually get taken down. Wasn't the case. South Soul is now in a 1 versus 4. As I said, he's been 6 so far. But he doesn't have the bomb, and that is the biggest issue. Stuck in cave, and with only 250 in his own bank, it does make sense to fall away and save this one. 9 are gonna close the gap to 3 once again.
Yeah, important round here for 9. What's the bare minimum, Trav? What's the bedrock here in this first half for them going into their T side?
The bedrock. If it's bedrock, it's completely unbreakable. Unless, you know, you're a bit of a cheater. So, I'm not sure what a completely unbreakable scoreline would be. But...
Okay. What's baseline bare minimum? Rock bottom.
But... I don't know. I think 9 kind of need to make this 6-6, to be honest. Vertigo might be a little bit different. Despite, of course, having the issue with the roster today and not being able to really field a full-strength team. Tactics on Vertigo can still be enough to push you through to something, at least a respectable scoreline. So far this isn't not a respectable scoreline. They're not doing badly at all. But yeah, I think Vertigo, they definitely have a little bit more of a chance. Favour Sangal still on both maps, considering, of course, recent form as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not like this is just a map-dependent thing from Sangal. You know that their individuals are in good form right now, and you know they'll be able to carry that through into Vertigo.
I only won one though, by the way. This year they've played 5 on Vertigo, have Sangal, and they've only beaten alternate attacks once at the beginning of Feb.
It's true, but 4 of their 5 losses were pretty close games, right? So, could go either way. Some teams can make that list as well, but let me hold that point. He's getting aggressive. He's going to find himself a kill, but he's been traded. That's unfortunate, man. Hard work to get that first kill, and it unravels as he goes down straight afterwards.
And of course, Nine still have the ability to put in these nice individual ideas, put some of their best players in position to do work, and okay, certainly did that there with the help of the Norot flash, and Tomiko is equal to Salsal. Look where Bambosh is though, he's in between 2 players, he gets away with 1 and actually just manages to round the corner too. Should have the line for Ganginio as well, and that timing works out lovely for Bambosh. Linus will quickly take Norot out, but he's in a what would be a 1 versus 4 in total now. And the bomb is in possession of Mr. Bambosh.
Yeah, that's round over for sure. And finally, 9 are going to be able to string consecutive rounds together. You mentioned 6 was what they needed, and it's looking doable. I mean, 5 is going to be the bare minimum they'll carry through into that second half, because it's going to be an anti-eco round for them in the next. I mean, Linus will carry an AK through. Well, actually, he could get the AWP here. He's going to wait before he exchanges his gun. Nice bit of resurgence here from 9 late in the first half, though, Trey.
Yeah, very nice. You mentioned, of course, the teams for thinking about the next map that Sangal played on Vertigo recently. I said only won 1 against alternate attacks. They played Spirit Academy, lost 13-4. They played Medisport, 16-14 lost. And of course, Medisport are very good these days with the star Nilo that has been touted by many of the top 20 from 2023. Preezy, of course, so we all know are no slouches, and Godsent as well. So, yeah, I mean, it's not been easy for them. You'd expect maybe the game against 9 would be their easiest yet, but it is still the name value of 9 on Vertigo. It's why I'm still on a little bit on that one, but we'll see. Bambosh commits to a full spray down there when I believe Youngstar was only on the headshot angle. That's a bit dangerous, and that's a lovely jump spot from Southall as well to spot Tomiko up close, and they can escape from this now rather than run straight into the mixer.
Really good call, because look at the minimap. Look who's on the opposite side and has cleared out the B bomb side completely. It's the IGL himself, Linus. The only problem is you got Minio, who could cut the map down the middle. If he does aggress up the shelf, then he will deny them passage. Oh no, Linus decides to hold the off angle instead of tucking to the corner. K's gonna clear him out, but they'll still win the foot race. Oh my goodness, K has to go back through the molly. Brought down as low as 23. The problem here for Sangal is that it's only Ganginio who's got armor right now. He still has the AWP in play. The round is very much alive, but K is looking to put it to death.
That should be enough, yeah. I think Ganginio took a nade there, which put him down from what was already very low HP to exactly 1. So, slightly fortunate. Doesn't come back to bite 9. They managed to clean them all up nicely. And yeah, that was not easy, that round, especially after losing the first defender, Bambosh, toward A, and in that 4v3 where Sangal could reposition. Nicely done, and this 6-6 now looks like a genuine possibility.
Yeah, really good recovery from 9 as they look to try and assert their dominance in towards middle at the start of the round. Southall tries to get flashed in towards mid so they can play early on, but he comes off second best. But they will. And I guess that's just the CT side of Ancient, right? You can't afford to sit back idly and wait. You got to make moves.
Indeed. And that's something that you definitely have to do when you're not at full strength with your roster. It's got, of course, only really Norot who is to be expected as a player that maybe wouldn't frag as hard, but he's already had 1 incredibly impactful round, which is more than enough that we can ask of him. That is a miss, though, that you probably maybe would expect. Xcloud ducks underneath the scope, and now it's all down to K. Oh, I had a feeling. I got a feeling. Not this time. Only one. But it's still a 2 versus 2. Minio comes in to help. And it's still switched around. Linus with the deagle. Goes for Minio. Minio's out of bullets. But of course he'll be saved by Bambosh charging through the smoke. And that is the 6-6 I thought was necessary for 9. Very well played. Quick break. See you in a minute. Half 2 between 9 and Sangal, and fair play to 9. With a roster they obviously didn't really want to play with today. They put up a good fight. It's evens at half. Let's see if Sangal can close it out on CT side. Fast pistol from 9 straight through Cave. There was some aggression from Sangal down ramp as well, which is actually making this a bit of a weird one. Salsal and Garginio, beautiful second tap from Salsal. Minio needs to find one of these, but he can't. And it leaves K 1 versus 4. Good bit of aggression there from Sangal working out.
Yeah, works phenomenally, right? They just pull out all the stops, run riot. Landing some nice shots there, as you mentioned as well. Blink, and it's only K left remaining. Not even going to have the elements of surprise in his side because Linus is looking in this direction, waiting for a player to emerge. That's exactly what K will do. Now compromise. It's a matter of time. And Youngster will find his second kill of the round. Sangal regain the lead. I mean, they lost quite a few rounds in a row. There was 4 in a row at the end of the first half, I think.
I believe so.
Point in case, his momentum started to kind of shift in the opposite direction, but by them winning that pistol round, does set them in a good position to start off the second half.
Yeah, it was 6-2, you are right. We've seen a CT pistol victory as well. 2, right? Or just 1? I forget. Just 1, right?
Yeah, first half was the T-side pistol round.
Yeah, so we've finally seen, in our 2 days in ECL so far, we've finally seen a CT pistol victory. Because we had none yesterday.
Took 8. Yeah, only took 8 pistol rounds for us to finally get a CT-sided pistol win. Just 8.
That's not much. Okay, Nora's gonna dink, and Ganginio goes very aggressive. Right, M4 can be picked up.
I understand how fish just get caught on hooks all the time, just getting baited in like that, man. Thought it was a free frag, swung on with MP9, ran into second player. That B-bomb site's now open, Trav.
Oh my goodness, he's glocked one and dinked another. Norot should surely be able to trade this as well. This is unbelievable from 9. This was genuinely
a full eco.
Glocks in this round. xCloud will probably feel like he has to go for this to sort of spare their blushes, but I don't know, he's quite far away and he lacks a kit, so is this really possible? I don't think so. Wow.
Okay, well, that's a statement. And that's going to make Sangal that's probably going to rattle them a little bit, you know. I'm sure they'll force buy in the next round to try and save face, but 9 now have a very realistic opportunity to get themselves ahead for the first time here on the map. And you see how quickly things unravel? I mean, Sangal looking to try and get aggressive in A main in a complete anti-eco round, so first of all, that's not necessary at all. They lose 2 players, well, they lost a player there. And then they get caught off with the rotations, the extensions.
Yeah, the extension from Ganginio especially was one that cost them quite significantly. Norot then obviously had his M4 to pick up with that P250 tap he got in Donut. And Tomiko was so far forward, managing to get 1 kill against a full armoured CT and on full health. Using 2 close-range flock headshots and then dinking the next, giving that kill to Norot easily. Incredible stuff.
Okay, well, what's the response here from Sangal? They're going to go all in. Lose this 8-7 anti-eco for 9, at that point 9-7, and they're 4 rounds away from winning Sangal's map pick. Things have slipped quite quickly here for the team who have picked the map.
Scary. I think 9 will be delighted how this opening gambit of Ancient has gone. That's a nice peek from xCloud though. Nora will just happily holding the angle and gets destroyed on that, but K's done a lot of damage through the wood there towards South. All the common wall bang you can do toward B. This rotation from Sangal could be rough because the bomb hasn't decided on a place yet. Minute 15 will now be picked up by Bambosh and he's starting back for it. And look at that! God. Wow! Talk about the wallbang damage. That just compounds it for Sangal. They may have been a man up, but this is scary. And they're going to go aggressive to try and counter that low MP. It's going to work off for some damage on Bambosh, and he re-picks into Youngstar. 5-7 doing work, and another one on K. The health isn't mattering.
I have no idea how Sangal have walked away with such a favorable exchange there. Minio can completely recover this though. Oh wow, he does actually just catch a glimpse of Sousel there. He finishes off the low HP player, takes down Youngster as well. Now it's only xCloud, the player who started off the round with the FAMAS cooped up in the corner. Minio not considering it, the fake will draw him out, but xCloud still able to get the kill. Tomiko trades 1v1.
Oh, Ganginio, he's close in cave. Tomiko has 20 seconds. Checking the flank entirely, but Ganginio is just biding his time and waiting. Surely this is where he pounces, but it's a fake. Oh, ring around the rosy, and Tomiko wins it for 9. Everything seems to be going their way right now. Wow, what a recovery. The health does come back to bite Sangal. Unbelievable.
I mean, a great effort there from Sangal considering how low a number of their players were. The fact that that aggression towards ramp worked as well as it did was incredible. But unfortunately, they can't get it across the line. Ganginho, I think if he doesn't actually step there, then Tomiko commits to the plant for a second time because the timing worked out really well for Ganginho as he slipped out of cave. But then he steps and Tomiko realizes.
Yeah, and he runs. Yeah, absolutely. That just gave Tomiko all the information he possibly wanted. Got a position. 9 are in now. 8-7. Should be 9-7 if something crazy doesn't happen. We've already seen that once already. Now, we're far back cash, thankfully. Only one player lost. Xcloud gets the only kill for Sangal. Needs to be now for them. The gun round is coming in. It will be an AWP plus gun round, though.
Losers 10-7, 11-7 after the anti-eco 4-9. Things getting really rough. I mean, Sangal, they were leading 6-2, Trav. 6-2 at one point. That means, what, 7 out of the past 8 rounds since then.
Crazy.
Stark contrast to what we saw at the start of the map. Complete turnaround. And I love this call from 9 coming into the first gun round as well. Now Minho's really feeling it. Lots of pressure being applied to the ramp early on here from K, but it's all a ruse. He's gonna get a free frag onto Southwell, but look at how much space he's created.
I like that from K. He just takes his time there, doesn't go for a full spray down, realises that he's got the drop on his opponent, goes for the tap instead, but it's only one. But as you so rightly say, it opens up so much space toward A. And a plant here should be taken. The spam to the smoke. Oh, Youngster didn't know how close he was, and in the end, the bomb does get planted, but Xcloud will get away with the kill. Flashing towards CT. Damage done. Nades are being primed, and it's the perfect time for Bambosh to pounce. Can you believe it? Linus and Youngstar 2v3. They're fighting for their life, but he's about to get triple swung. It ain't going to happen, and Linus is, well, he may as well be on Vertigo already. He's miles away. It's going to be 10-7.
Wow. Time for a pause here. Let's give Jumpy a chance to chime in. Try and help relieve some of this pressure because things are not going well for Sangal at all. The ship is sinking at a rate of knots.
Terrorists win.
Yeah, Ganginho just hasn't pitched up right. 6 kills to his name. Linus is struggling individually as well. I'd really like to see a pause, and there we go. It's not a tactical pause, or maybe it is. Who knows? No. Trav, they're playing with my feelings right now.
They're playing with the feelings of their fans, I'm sure, as well. This would be some win for 9 on Sangal's map pick, of course, as well. And a lot of credit would have to go to Minio, without a doubt, if 9 are able to pull this series off. His calls have been pretty solid. Tomiko just straight up looking for an opening door here, knowing that it's a half up against him. But you've got to be careful these rounds don't get out of hand. There's still an AK in play. The 5-7s are dangerous, and so is that MP9. But K and Tomiko team up nicely. Still multiple players to worry about, though. They are going into the stack, and that is dangerous. They realise it. Xcloud, though, and has he been telegraphed yet? He has been tagged down a little bit. He's making a lot of noise. Oh my goodness, Norot. That's a spooky one, but he gets away with it. 3v2.
Yeah, bomb's still all the way in the back of spawn right now. Timing, not bad for Linus. I'm not sure if he caught a glimpse of Norot there or not. They are going to cross paths now, and Linus will come out on top of that exchange. A really important kill that goes his way. Still no idea which way this round is going to go from here, though. Oh my goodness, Minio, he's peeked behind the curtain trap. But he still has his head ripped right off. Wow. You had no business being there, son, Salsal says.
Well, that's flipped it. Now, Van Bosch has got everything he could possibly want here. Full belt of utility. Bomb on his back. In this 1 versus 2. 30 seconds. He's going to be choosing B. He's clearing every angle, as you would suspect, but he's going to show his presence now. He's got another smoke on the floor. That is going to be nice. Try and smoke off the site as well, but he's not going to check to see if there's someone on the site. A very common angle. He's more focused on using his utility rather than keeping his gun out, and that plays into Salsal's hands. Sangal take a genuinely really important half-buy win.
Yeah, they desperately needed that, right? That's certainly a reprieve here for Sangal. That has to be the start, though, Trav. We saw it was 9 who was really struggling for any traction or momentum on their CT side in the first half, but now it's Sangal. Can they find their footing? Anguinho's got the AWP here. They can look to make a statement. 9 can't afford to buy if they lose this round. In the next, they'll be reduced to pots and pans.
Alright, with the up on T side this time. That's what usually coming his way. He tries to hit the timing shot, but it won't matter. Tomiko takes that head beautifully off of Linus, and off the back of that kill, he's going to pounce straight toward B. I really like that. Calls off the back of frags, and that's what is making 9 particularly unpredictable in this game. Bambosh will walk mid though late. Lovely peek again from Tomiko though. X-Cloud destroyed, and Nora will hold in the afterplot as well to do with Salsal. Another quick headshot from Tomiko. He's having a spicy game, and Ganginho, who's kind of been nowhere in this entire map so far, is once again off to save.
Where's the pause, Trav? That's what I'm wondering. We haven't had a pause from Sangal yet on the CT side, if I'm not mistaken. There was that very brief technical pause, but you've just added a new coach to the mix, right? Surely you want to give him a chance to relay some thought through here. Things have completely fallen apart from 6-2 for Sangal. Now lost 9 out of the past 11 rounds. Yeah, he's gonna die here.
Oh, he is. He gives it a nice try, managing to no-scope Minio out, but he's lost his AWP, and he can't afford another one. So, 9, kind of in pole position at the moment. Should be feeling very happy with this. It's these sort of rounds where you are up against these tough buys, these half investments where there's a couple of guns perhaps in play. But I'd like to see something a little bit different, maybe just a fast A play instead. Because sometimes when you play out in defaults and play it a bit slower, you can just get picked off. You're going to at least take mid early.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep it slow.
We did see a lot of that sort of approach from 9 on their CT side, right? They were quite keen to make those sorts of plays. Not really as much out of Sangal. That's a half buy. We've seen them with success in these half buys before. Man, is Tomiko just not looking super drilled in or dialed in right now, should I say, Trav?
He may as well be drilled and dialed with how he's looking.
That's true. He's doing the drilling and he is dialed.
Ganginho goes charging in. We'll be thinking there's someone behind the box in mid there, just playing a default, holding for rotation. But there ain't no one there, and K will manage to take Youngstar as he pushes forward as well. What's happened to Sangal in this game? They've really fallen off a cliff, and 9 are playing very impressively indeed. Nora is staying, looking significantly, workable individually. 11 and 11. A nice shot from Salsal, but he's really, alongside Youngstar, has kind of been the main 2 men for Sangal in this game, doing some of the heavy lifting.
Alright, well, 12-8. 9 have got themselves to map point on their opponent's map pick. Wonderful work coming through from the Polish team right now, defying all odds and expectations. And I'm all for it. Sangal need to win 4 in a row to carry this into overtime. Trav, they've only managed 2 rounds on the CT side so far. How are they going to win 4 in a row?
Terrifying for Sangal, especially when you go into the second map it's a map where you only won once in 6 against a team that is known for playing it. And what did I say about possibilities of fast A? Might be getting that now. They're up against Ganginho. They're throwing it in on match point, and honestly, I really like it. Flash is a little bit delayed though, and Ganginho steps up nicely. He's had a really, really quiet game. He needed to. He gets to. 4v3 for Sangal. Super aggressive moves from Tomiko again though. Linus was expecting that, and he still just destroys him, but Youngstar pushing through smokes and denying plants. Youngstar pushes even deeper, removal rot as well. Well played from Sangal, kind of reveling in the chaos in that one. They stay in the map.
Yeah, really important round going their way, as you say, able to sort of make it work despite how much was going on towards the A bomb site. Maintained composure. First of 4 rounds checked off the list. No money for 9 if they lose this round as well, going into the next. So, what, 12-10 then becomes 12-11 for free? Really, there's only 2 gun rounds between Sangal and overtime right now.
Really, there's a possibility for Sangal if they can just stay solid, stay calm. They probably know that they're, probably think that they are the better team situation. They see they've got all the stats say they are. Not charging in there. K will remove him. Nice shot from Ganginio, but once again, A taken, but Ganginio picks on a lovely timing. Next time, I'm not sure he was expected in that position as well, behind that smoking lane. Now 2v4 for 9. Minio and Bambosh. With Youngstar on a big flank. Could catch Minio in the back here. The timing's pretty good. Oh, it's a shaky one. But he gets away with it. No worries. And I think they know exactly where Bambosh is. Salso has got them locked in the corner here, if I'm not mistaken. There it is. And now the eco has to come in for 9. You're right about those gun rounds. This will be an eco. We should have round 24 out of 24.
Alright, well, welcome back to the server, Sangal. They have been able to wake up while they're still alive. There's still time to save the day. It is the 11th hour, but they pitched up. They have lost an eco round already here in the second half. Certainly can't afford for that to happen again. Ganginio is coming up good though, Trav. This is what they needed out of him. Salsel continues to do work as well.
Yeah, it's late in the day, but it doesn't matter if you win some impactful rounds for your squad. Step up when needed. Some important rounds there from Ganginio, even if it's 2k in each. To help to deal with the pistols as well. Minus himself 2. Good kills from Bambosh. Look how low Xcloud is. Got picked up. Spicy here perhaps? No, unlucky. Xcloud removes him. 2 kills for him and 2 for Linus. We do get round 24 again. We had a long series yesterday, which ended up being very exciting, to be honest, with Sora and Rush B. This is kind of heading the same way.
I'm keen, man. I'm glad we've gone the distance and that Sangal are starting to put up a decent fight. This is what we expected from them throughout the entirety of the map. Can they force overtime, though? 3 rounds in a row is what they've been able to muster so far. Can they add one more to that tally to complete the job? What's the call from Minio? Would you call him a seasoned IGL at this point, Trav?
Oh, he's got lots of experience at big events, so you'd think maybe...
Has to be, right?
Maybe you would give him that title. Maybe a first kill for Linus, and then Tamiko just shifts in. This is a mention about being a seasoned IGL. I'm not necessarily sure he would have told his teammates to do that. They kind of just peeked one by one all across the map. Not much logic to that, it feels like. And now 2v4 for 9. Is there any way back?
I don't think so. I mean, the only concern is Minio, who's been able to cross in towards the box here. Norat's going to come through to support him as well. Minute left on the clock. I mean, 9 will have to get this kill here on Sarsel without losing anybody in the process. And Minio has caught a glimpse. Doesn't want to snap up the kill, though. He wants more than just that frag. He's going to go into the back lines here. He's telling Norat to just hold his horses and wait for a moment. Give Minio a chance to cook.
Oh. The 2 main voices in the old 9! No. I was building it up! I was building it up to say the 2 old voices in the old 9 coming together to try and make a 2v4 happen. And let's just not talk about it, because you've just seen that with your eyes, and I'm sure you wish you hadn't. It's overtime between Sangal and 9, and we reset.
Anybody have bleach for my eyes, Trav?
That's a shame.
That was brutal, man. That was really rough. Okay,
did everything right.
12 all. Yeah, he did. He did do everything right. You can't fault him. Just got a bit too quick on the trigger, right?
Yeah.
Either way, 12 all. Into overtime we go. Great fight back from Sangal. I kind of wrote them off there, to be honest.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same too. I mean, you were right when you said it was only a couple of gun rounds out of the 3 they would have needed to make it to OT. Of course, the money for 9 was getting more and more depleted. I really don't know what that last round of regulation was for 9. It's not just the end, it's the start as well, and they were peeking one by one across the map, playing in smokes in random positions. Maybe it's what you have to do when you're in this position with the team, but surely look at what's worked before in this map.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I was going to go. Is I understand that thought process generally, but they've shown they have a lot more depth than just 5 players working around the map by themselves trying to make something happen. And that's all that it looked like in the previous round. Anyway, let's see what 9 can do now as they reset and head into overtime. Momentum behind Sangal, but we've wiped the slate clean.
How do 9 resets? The speed is Miko, but he's got an X-Cloud on the other side of that smoke. Gotta be wary of. And also, X-Cloud's got to be wary of using his entire clip in those scenarios when he could just get charged down to the smoke. But he's safe on this occasion. Let's get that reload off. Try and work his way forward again. Thank you were taken. So they know they've forced it back from that area. Kay has been tasked with those wall bangs throughout most of this T-half, and there's that one round in particular who did so much damage that which inadvertently kind of led to a great round win from Minio and the boys. 2v4. Ooh. Now that's something you don't expect. Youngstar pushing all the way through behind Bambosh. So gets that kill nicely. X-Cloud steps up with a nice one bang onto Miko. They tried to take B, but the sprays aren't hitting anymore. And Linus takes one through the corner of the smoke, and I think one straight through it. It's down to K.
Great defense. I don't think he's going to be able to get much done here, Trav. Left on the clock, all 5 of his opponents left alive, and X-Cloud has a good timing on the peak. Sangal have got the lead here once again. It's been a while since they've had their noses in front. That's going to give them a good boost of confidence. They fought hard to force us into overtime, and they open up overtime with a round win as well. Good defense on that B-bomb site. Nothing really stuck from 9 there.
Sangal back in the lead again. Salso looking to try and fight his way out of mid. He self-flashes for the peak on toward K, and it works out beautifully. At least one of the main men of this game, Tomiko, has been very spicy on the headshots. And to respond, and now Salso's very much caught in the open, but that was dirty. Beautiful spray transfer to take 2, 3 in total. He is the man of the map so far for Sangal.
I love this. I really like this from Youngster as well. Amongst all the chaos in towards middle, he's taken space. Great play coming through from Youngster, reading the situation very nicely indeed. Yeah, that triple kill was beautiful from Sarsel. What makes that spray transfer even more impressive is it's from low to high. Spray transfer vertically in that instance is really difficult to control.
Indeed. Absolutely spot on. That was very, very nice. And I feel like in the beginning of CS2 at least, we didn't see many of those because spray felt a bit janky. Now,
True.
It feels a lot better. Maybe we'll see more of that in future matches in some of the world's biggest games. We've seen a couple already. When's the next Vera CSGO spray transfer highlight video? I need one of those in my life again.
Yeah, it's going to become nostalgic soon, Trav.
Yeah. Indeed. Bambosh will make his way forward. Of course, it's overtime. He can give this a go. Very long range spray. And talking of spray,
that won't be in the highlight video.
That won't. Yeah.
Not gonna make it, I'm afraid.
Won't make the edit, I'm afraid.
Not gonna make the cut. 14-12. Have 9 run out of energy? Have they run out of gas? So close to the finish line, man. They had 4 map points. 4 of them in regulation. Remember, they'd only lost 2 T-side rounds up until that point. They then lost 4 in a row. I mean, isn't Counter-Strike such a wonderful and weird mistress, Trav? You never know what she's got up her sleeve.
That's why we love it. Not one game, never the same. 9, they're going to try and walk A. So walk A, Contact A. Lots of utility coming in. Molotov's flying over the top. Youngstar. Ooh, okay. Wasn't ready for Bambosh to be so close. Now they can take deep donut control, but they're going to be wary of Salsal. He's still in here. That wasn't necessarily needed from Tomiko. You just don't know what's behind that smoke, and that gives up a 4 versus 4.
Yeah. I understand he's trying to deny Sangal map control to try and retake it, right? But it's a really big risk, a really big gamble. He's now got the man advantage for his team. Linus into the action as well, 2 versus 2. Bambosh has got 2 players to deal with, and you know what? He'll leave Minio to deal with Ganginio. He's able to take down Sarsel, and at least 9 will get a point on the board going into their second half of overtime.
Bam, Bosh, Bish Bash Bosh. That was 3 really important kills from him, and spinning on a top to look at both angles. But yeah, that was a must win, as you so rightly say, for 9 to stay in touch. You can't afford in these OTs to give up the 3-0 sweep. Go back to the good old-fashioned global offensive scoreline. First to 16. It's 15 all. We go on.
Yeah, Sangal, as you say, they need 2 rounds here to finish the job. See how they're going to begin their campaign on the T side. They have a good T side in regulation. They've got an opening kill here as well. Minio's going to be keeping up with his antics, aggression. Youngster's trying to chase him down, and he will catch Minio in the middle of the reload. I love the initiative being taken by Youngster.
Smoke, and it just completely leaves K in the open. What to do about that? Norot, I think if he managed to even get a 1 from that position, he would have done a fantastic job. He was going to get swung on by at least 3, whatever happens. And it's been a battle, but the favourite is now just 1 round away, and they have 2 chances at it.
Alright, well, 2 map points for Sangal. Can they finish off the job?
Good nade. Minio doing more damage from Jaguar. And look at this change up from 9. This is something that I really like to see when you're match point down, or map point down I should say. Sometimes you feel like you just want to stay stock solid and try your best in normal positions, but guess who's watching for it? It's Salsal in red room, and he was actually almost ready for a second as well. Thankfully, for 9's sake, Tomiko answers back. Aggression works out well. Minio spotted out 1, swings for another. That's a lovely frag on Linus, and that forces K into the open to try and peek off his teammate's contact. Now Minio is very low in that Cave and Jaguar position. Ganginio holds the long range angle on Norok. Tomiko's using utility, and Youngstar is an absolute nuisance. Charges straight through. Ganginio is holding for Minio because they knew where he was earlier on. And Sangal just about sneak it. 16-13. 9 put up a great fight, but the better team won.
Yeah, the team we expected to get across the line, and I really like that. I mean, the fact that not only Sangal were able to make the comeback to get the game into overtime from that 8-12 deficit, they're also able to finish off the job in overtime as well, right? It's not like they just run out of gas. So that's a really good result coming through for the team who have picked the map. And unfortunately for 9, they now go into Vertigo down 0-1.
Yeah, and I mean, it's something that we spoke about a little bit beforehand. If there was one map that I would think 9 would have a chance on, it's the good old-fashioned readout of 9 picked Vertigo. It feels safe, it feels homey, it feels nice, but with this roster, not sure. But Sangal only won once in 6 attempts on this map against some good teams, and there have been some close ones. However, that's what makes me think, especially after what we've seen from 9 on map 1, it makes me think they do have a chance. We're going to have a look at our MVP, I believe, in a minute, for our first map there, of course. And I think from the Sangal side, there's only really one man. I think I would probably pick Youngstar or Salsal, and it's going to be Salsal. Like I said, 25 and 15 and 95 ADI. He had a fantastic start, and we called on him, of course, to be one of those players beforehand after having, you know, multiple stints in other big teams like Movistar Riders, for example, and Mad Lions from the past. So yeah, it's good to see him perform well.
Yeah, really good work. I mean, he was a consistent force throughout the entirety of the map and really stood out when they needed him the most. So, good work out of Sarsel. Will he be able to continue that form into the next map? We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, it's time for Vertigo.
Great performance from Nine in that first match, to be honest, to see how close they could get to Sangal. They made it very close. They took them to overtime, but in the end, the favourite took map 1, and they should be set up for a decent chance on map 2 as well. But, you know, Nine on Vertigo, you never know.
Yeah, you can't count them out, that's for sure, but I am markedly impressed by what we saw out of Sangal on Ancient, right? The fact that they were leading as well as they were. They then fell almost out of contention. They were down 12-8. Hadn't really shown any positive signs up until that point in that second half. And then they were able to win the last 4 rounds, force OT. And then they're like a completely different team at that point. So I think that, you know, shows some good tenacity and mental fortitude on the side of Sangal. And I'm really happy to see that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a game that they probably would have been a little bit embarrassed that they almost lost, to be honest, considering the situation that they found themselves in. It was I wouldn't say necessarily it was a free win, but they were the strong favourites due to, of course, the reasons we've mentioned with Nine's roster. But Norot did very well, to be honest, considering the situation he's thrust himself into. And yeah, he had a couple of impactful rounds, unfortunately. Obviously, he was exposed on a few, but that's what you'd probably expect. Now, map 2, Vertigo, I've said it multiple times already, seeing 9 pick Vertigo usually meant a guaranteed map back in the day. It's very different now, but I think they still have a bit of a chance because Sangal have only won 1 Vertigo in their last 6. They lost against Godsent, Preezy, Medisport and Spirit Academy. 2 of those were particularly close, especially the one against Medisport, that was 16-14. However, it's still not a win. And it is one of Sangal's weakest maps, at least statistically.
Yeah, I mean, even though obviously Nine don't have the same team they had when they showed all the success on Vertigo before, they've still got the identity. And, you know, Minio, the IGL, Norot, he was the coach, K was a part of that team. They've got the gimmicks, they've got the layers, they've got the options, right? Think about the amount of reps that they've got on the map as well. So they've been able to figure out all these fine little details to really find success on the map. So I still certainly expect them to be competent and competitive, despite the fact they don't have their team at their disposal. But yeah, like you said, it's also not a great map for Sangal. Problem is, which 9 are we going to see? Are we going to see towards the end of Ancient 9 where they just fell flat? Or are we going to see the middle of Ancient where they looked really good and convincing?
Yeah, that is the question. I mean, at least a positive I can say is the trio of Tomiko, Bambosh and K, especially Tomiko and Bambosh, were hitting some tasty headshots. I think Tomiko had at least 3 rounds where he hit at least 3 really spicy kills. So, yeah, I mean, that's what you want when you're in a situation like this. You want to have some of your individuals pop off. So that's why I'm giving them a chance. But I still think probably Sangal is the right call either way.
Yeah, I mean, it was the team we both went with before the first map. It's a team we're both going to go with going into Vertigo here as well. We had a good Vertigo yesterday, didn't we? Rush B taking the distance or going the distance against their opponents. I can't even. It was Saw. Yeah, there we go. Computing, hoping the name comes back to me. It was a long series, that one was, man, and a lot longer than anybody had expected. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was a really good game in the end. Saw, as I said, maybe there would have been a little bit of a hangover of happiness from making the first major under that organisation, and Mitiris fighting for his life since 1.6 to finally make a major, and he made it happen. So yeah, maybe there would have been a little bit of maybe I hesitate to say jet lag, but at least maybe some tiredness from it all. So yeah, I think it was interesting to see how close that was. In this instance, both these two teams, of course, got nowhere near the RMR itself, so they're just concentrating on Challenger League, which is an important league, of course, for both these 2 rosters, knowing that 2 Pro League spots are on the line. I wouldn't say it's necessarily too cutthroat this season because, of course, we do have 4 separate groups and multiple chances to go through. But yeah, we'll have to see. But anyway, hopefully we'll be very soon ready for Vertigo. And yeah, I think for Sangal's case, at least starting the season super cleanly in a game you should win, 2-0, would be nice. We thought Saw were going to do it 2-0, didn't happen. Again, it was another Russian team that was, in the past, we've seen that's been kind of their Achilles heel. Saw has been Russian teams. But yeah, I think for Sangal, if they take this 2-0, it almost feels like it's important for them rather than a close 2-1 that they sweat about.
Well, even though nobody gets eliminated in this stage of the season or this stage of the competition, you still want to get into the top 2 of your group, because then you get the high seed going into that next stage, which is the cutthroat stage. That's where teams start to get eliminated. So it is really important for Sangal, as you say, that they win these matches that they should be winning, to give them a bit more breathing room going into the rest of the group. And here we go into Vertigo, the second map of the series. It is indeed the pick of 9. Will we see a change in the result from the first map? That's what we're going to find out. It's exactly what 9 are going to be hoping for.
9 picked Vertigo. Magical words in the eyes of many a Polish CS supporter from the good old days. But these days, we'll see. Ganginio towards CT. Going to tap away. But only playing retake on A. Ooh, aggression from xCloud. Pushing deep there, dealing with Bambosh nicely. Bomb pump will go down. Don't worry, we'll get the HUD through quickly after this round as well, so don't worry about that. Video on the line. The bomb is down, but the frags come through for Sangal.
Wow.
Absolute wipeout with the dualies. All 3 come through, and now K tried with the smoke, but now he's been found, and he can't deny Southall. Absolute madness in that smoke. And it's Sangal to take the pistol.
Yeah, you can't really fault the way K tries to play that at the end of the round. Everything had already fallen apart. The Julies had done a lot of damage, Trav. 4 pistols between 2 players. That's a lot of firepower, and it worked out very nicely. At least there was a bomb plant for 9, though.
Yep, indeed, and obviously that is very impactful, because I'll be able to buy up at least something you'd think in this following round. We'll get the HUD sorted for you, and then we'll jump back into game. And just like that, I press my button. I'm not in control of it.
Can't start the game.
I'm gonna claim it. Force Buy is in action. 3 Galils, Tech 9 and Mat 10, like we suspected. Already they're making it a little bit speedier. Tamika will do an xCloud straight away, and Linus toward the sandbags can't get his kill. Nora actually managed to take him down before that nade comes flying in from Ganginio, but he does step up toward Gap with 1 more.
Yeah, massive second frag coming through from him, but he has taken quite a lot of damage in the process. He's going to fall back all the way in towards Connector, forfeiting a lot of control in towards the A bomb site. There is a flank out of Southall, though. Going to clear the deep angle. Still, Bambosh will come out on top, and there's a lot of time left on the clock here. They don't have to commit into the A bomb site from here. This is looking really good for 9.
I can slow it down as well, yeah. Don't need to have so much time to play with, don't need to rush into things. They made the correct decision anyway, and I think Sangal know what's going on, and they're going to fall off and save the FAMAS and the M4. Great recovery from 9, great hit back. We see that so often, don't we? I will admit I've not been necessarily digging into the stats on how common, when you get the bomb planted on the pistol, how common the success is on round 2 for T-sides. But it feels very common, at least 50-50 sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you get a very even buy going into that second round as the T side, despite the fact you lost the pistols. So it's always an uphill battle, and the fact that Sangal decided to try and take the early fight, that's where the round unravels, right? Because xCloud goes down early, Linus loses his gunfights out at range. Oh, Tamiko and Bambosh both have 1 point of health, by the way, surviving that explosion, so that's cool. But that round unraveled very quickly for Sangal, to be fair.
Yeah, it's not often you see that. Bomb Blast putting both of them down to the exact same. We saw a number of Saw and Rush B players on Nuke misjudging the bomb damage yesterday.
Yeah. Alright, well, let's see what Sangal can do with the Force Spy at their disposal. Of course, a couple guns carried through here on Youngster and Ganginio, and there is quite a lean over towards the B side of the map from the CT side. In fact, now 3 players hard committed, and it looks like they're going to have a couple visitors on their doorstep.
It's going to be hard to hold as well. Youngster's been double named already in that cubby, but he might still do some good damage. Off the back of it, Deagle out. Oh, it's a lineup, and I believe a collateral with the Deagle.
Yeah,
you don't see that too often.
Man, I can't believe he gets that, Trav. It looked like he was just panic spamming at that point, right? Just panic firing, hoping that you get the kills. Rips the head off of 2, and xCloud will finish off the job. The Force Spy goes the way of Sangal. My God, Linus.
Yeah, and they managed to get both AKs as well. I thought for a second they might just leave one on the floor with the round timer expiring, but yeah, they get both AKs too. That's huge for Sangal to hit straight back, and the force by wars will continue. Of course, 9 can still afford some. They're going to get 2 AKs in play. Minio will sacrifice himself, and so will Norrot down just the pistols, of course. 3 rifles in play for 9, still very durable.
Alright, well, let's see if they can make it happen. It looks like it's going to be a rinse and repeat from the previous round. No, never mind. One more focus over towards Ram. Xcloud's committed to this position. He's certainly not getting out of here without a fight. Oh my goodness. Happy to maintain this position. You've got to be a bold player to play a ramp on this map, that's for sure. Happy to take gunfights, happy to get your hands dirty. Youngster says, I can get my hands dirty over towards B as well. It's exactly what he does.
Nice skill to take. Just leaves K and Norrot. And probably you'd expect this will be a Sangar round and then a full eco for 9 after that. So rough. And there's Gangino holding the right angle. That puts the bomb on the ground in mid. Try and aim duel 5 players. And it ain't even going to work on the first. Gangino takes him down, and that now is the full eco for 9. So I've seen many a question in Twitch chat asking, where's Aurora versus Big Academy today? I think I've seen at least 15 or 20 people asking that question. The answer is, I believe it's not happening today because they were both participating in the ESL Challenger Melbourne Open qualifier. So that'll be played on a different day in the future.
Okay, well, there we go. That's fair enough. That makes sense. Not much to work with here in this round. There's 9 blocked across the board. Xcloud says, I would like some anti-eco kills. We have seen Sangal lose a round to pistols already, but it's not going to happen here. They've got 3 AKs at their disposal, Trav. 9 need to proceed with caution.
Yeah, they're looking good now. Stepped it up. What do 9 have on their T side? So 9 T side that has, at least with Minio at the helm in the past, alongside the likes of K and Norrot in the coach slot, has taken maps off some of the biggest team in the world. Not even the best in the world could stop 9 on Vertigo.
I mean, the only concern is they've played the map 4 times in the past 3 months, Trav, with the minimum of 2 of their players playing in the team, so the reps are just not there. Can they win this all-important gun round? They've run out of quite a lot of utility, and Linus has spotted the head of the one. Does he reappear? The head's offered up to him, and K is the one that pays the price. Minio wants to try and take the space that could be on offer. He doesn't just take space, he takes names.
Talking about taking space, the spacing there for Xcloud and Linus was not too great. That basically gifted Minio those 2 kills on a silver platter. Nice lineup for Minio, he knows his angles. 5 kills already to start off Vertigo. And that will probably force a save here from Gangino, Southall and Youngstar. And this little weird timing battle here between Bambosh and Gangino is slightly strange. Looks like Bambosh is about to swing the angle, but he's just checking ladder back and forth. He's not checking Gangino's angle. Bit awkward.
Question is it just going to end as a stalemate? Does Bambosh extend a bit more? Important round for 9 to win, and Gangino, he's the one who's going to offer himself up on a silver platter. I guess he was like, I'm going to buy an AWP in the next round anyway. You got Xcloud and Linus looking over at him like, yeah, well, we would have liked the AK.
Yeah, it's those sort of small things which you look at and say, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But put it out of your mind quickly and move on. As you say, he does have his AWP up now as well. Seen many a good AWP play from Nino. Line branch, of course, but Youngstar is given no chance for defense on B, but Salsol, that's a great reface. Instant reface as well. Sometimes you can feel nervous to go for a slightly later reface like that, like Salsol did. Otherwise, you could just get ripped apart as well, but wanted to go for the trade, committed to it, successful with it, and so I'll be annoyed that he got caught out early.
Yeah. I mean, the great work there from Southall is not only does he get the trade, but he also denies 9 getting into the bomb sites. However, through the smoke, he'll lose his life, and there's no further presence on that side of the map. It looks like Kay's been doing a great job just keeping Sangal focused over towards ramps. They're going to have to settle for the safe, but Kay, oh, he's behind enemy lines right now. He could get 2 kills for free. Unfortunately, pathing isn't going to be in his favor. I mean, at least he still finds a frag, but Sangal, they'll pay that price, right? Because it means they just lose 1 player instead of potentially 2 to get the info.
Yeah, I think Exile pulled that utility
never mind.
right at the very end of him facing toward Gap. He had no idea it was there, so... Yeah, Kay's doing all the work at removing the possibility of a save as well. It could be back to see Ganginho in the corner too, yes. Ganginho is looking way too high up. Kay crouches underneath. Do they go for the AWP? Yes, they do. They're going to try it out for at least 1 T round. Norrock takes it. 9 back in the game.
Yeah, certainly so. I mean, haven't completely busted the economy of Sangal, but if they win this next round, they certainly will. Looks like they're trying to pepper that B bomb site, right? That's certainly been their main points of contact in the successful rounds they've had. And now they're pivoting. At least at the start of the round, you're very aggressive from the word go, trying to gain control. Couple FAMASas in play for Sangal as well. No AWP or Ganginho. And no early aggression from the CT side either. I think it's the first round we've really seen them just reel it in from the word go. They did have 2 players into there, so I guess that was the play that they were making, but they've afforded a lot of space and control to 9 over towards ramp as a result.
This Cloud is just priming utility pretty much, just waiting to... players coming their way, and there you go. Talking about utility, he's got 2 HEs on the ground. When I said priming, I was more expecting for perhaps a little bank nade off the wall for the default plant, but he has both at his feet. I didn't realize he had a second until the last moment, and it completely ruins Minio. First they put him down to 42, second was more than enough. Probably maximum possible damage with those HEs. Ganginho is boosted up on the white box too, so he might be able to see something at the top of this. The nice opening from Bambosh. There's Tamiko again. It's those 2 that I brought up from the first map, hitting these 2 quick-fire headshots. There are still 2 players here close to, of course. Linus could play for it. He spots K early. The Molotov comes flying in. More damage, more nades. Means Tamiko can't get away from the plant. So it's a 2v3.
Really good Molly nade combination there from Youngster to take down the plant, and now it's on Norot and Bambosh to try and convert the post plant into a round win. And look at Bambosh, he's gone into the smoke right now, into the belly of the beast. That diffuser's not being stuck by Linus either. Bambosh is not panicking, not spraying, nothing, and Linus will lose his life out. 9. Showing great signs of life right now on this T side. A number of consecutive rounds. Leveled up the scoreline and broken the bank of that CT side.
Huge. And big from Norot as well. You saw the question mark. I think it was from K when he got those exit frags on one of those previous rounds and removed the Ganginho AWP on Sandbag. You saw him look at it, obviously asking, do we want an AWP? Do we want an AWP? Norot said yes, and guess what? He's hit 2 really important kills in an afterplant to recover a tough situation. Puts Sangal on the eco as well.
Yeah, prime opportunity now for 9 to get their noses in front. T-side is gaining traction. You can see Minio pulling the strings. Great calls coming through from him on this T-side so far.
This is nice as well. Obviously, you're unlikely to get this much space in a gun round. Try it on the eco, and poor Linus and Exile just to be botched as they attempt the boost. And they get shocked by an angry Tamiko coming in from behind, which is not what you want so far in this series. He's been ridiculous. He gets one. Minio got the other two. Minio's been having a very nice map so far. He's got 8 kills. Every single one of his other teammates are on 4.
Fours across the board. 4-4 the scoreline. It's about to be 5-4.
What's your favourite number?
Favor of 9. Favorite number? Honestly, probably 438.
That's much more of a random number than I realised. Does that have a meaning?
I know it's actually just a sports reference from when I was a kid. Like, my favorite sports game that I watched was the amount of runs the one team scored, and they won the game with it. And it's just like stuck with me because it was a cool day, and so that's just become my number now. But
so if you were like a professional player in any sport, not just like a CS team or whatever, and you had a chance to choose a jersey number, would you choose 438?
Well, I don't know if you could, right? Like 3 digits, that's probably too many.
If they allowed it, would you do it?
I would just go with 69.
Oh, of course, you're one of those people.
One of those guys, one of them people. No, I mean, I had to just go for the joke. What about you, Trav? Do you have a lucky number? What would you put on your jersey?
I don't know. I you know, some numbers just like scream out at you, like just a nice number. I've always liked 32 for some reason, for literally no 32. Reason whatsoever. But number 7 is an obvious one that I've always liked.
Yeah. Probably the most popular number. Number 7 would be like the cool kid at school.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Indeed. Who's going to be the cool kid in round number 10? The cool kids, at least. Tomiko. Already got some mid control. Obviously not going to push too deep on it just yet because there's a minute 20 to go. The mid lurk is the most important and critical things on Vertigo. Catching rotations and Youngstar. Oh, he's already been cut off once or twice on B. This is dangerous. There's still a couple of mollies in play to move him to that position, but of course support from Southall means that it feels a lot safer for him to do that. And you'll hear, obviously, all these ticks taken to the Molotov, too, from Bambosh. So, some intel at least.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is one of the better positions that Sangal have been at this point in the past few rounds. But they are starting to shift away from that A-bomb side. At least one of the players has. 2 players in towards Skinny. X-Floud is going to be in a good position, but K will still clear him out anyway. And now they are aware that... I think they're aware of the second player there, if I'm not mistaken. Support from Linus as well. 30 seconds on the clock. It looks like Minio wants to call for his troops to go in the opposite direction. And that's because Bambosh has found an opening.
Another one. That'll be a good timing on the molly from Southall, but what does Bambosh do after it? Oh, I say good timing on the molly. It's exploded in midair, and that could cause problems, but he reacts beautifully to get 1 and 2. Okay, to trade it. Now it's a 2v2. 9 seconds. That's the big issue, and there's no way they can cross. With that little time on the clock, and with both players in position, Sangal even up the game once again.
Really important round for Sangal as well, right? Consider how they started here on the map. They were leading comfortably in a good position, and all that hard work was undone. Able to level it up once again. Are you favoring 9 on the T side or the CT side here, Trav?
It's hard. I think mainly down to Minio. I quite like their T side because we've seen what in the past you can do with basically whatever team. But yeah, I don't know. I think CT, you mentioned the firepower thing. I feel like firepower might be a bit more important on the CT side. We've seen a lot from Tomiko and Bambosh today. I feel like, you know, playing up ramp like Xantares and Wicadius do so incredibly well on Eternal Fire. That duo going up ramp together is impactful. On CT side, can they do the same? Remains to be seen.
Big exec in towards the A-bomb side. Haven't really seen any just outright execs coming through from line at the start of the round. I think they've realized they've been given a lot of control in towards ramp at the start of these rounds. Linus is going to get aggressive. 2 kills coming through back from him. Southall will find a frag of his own. That's going to earn the man advantage now for Sangal. Still plenty of time for 9 to play with to try and get back into the round.
Oh, Southall, his timing's going to be important here. Of course, he's got his Orp Gangino to hold that line. That's a big miss. And I guess now he'll be feeling a lot more comfortable, Southall, to be honest, that maybe they don't realise he's there. You might hear that utility being swapped over. That's a bit bold. That gives Bambosh a kill back in response. Now 2 versus 2, and they're both locked out from the site. 30 seconds. K can push forward and get the bomb planted in the smoke. I think I should be able to hear where that exactly is being planted. Youngstar's charging through and deals with K beautifully. It's all Mr. Bambosh. What can he do? Both players are next to each other and he spots both, but he can't adjust the spray for the last. And that means that Sangal are guaranteed to not be behind at half.
It's been nervy though, right? It's been really nervy these past few rounds that they've been able to win. Good recovery there. Linus getting aggressive towards ramp in the early stages of the defense. He was able to get 2 kills back. 9 nearly recover. Didn't have much going for them, and they get close, but it doesn't work out. And now they're trying to deny Sangal a lead going into that second half. People often think that it's easy to play on the CT side when you don't have coordination in a team because you're playing, you know, new players who have been added to the roster or standing in. Problem is when it comes to rotations and positions and setups, that's where it can be a real struggle without any synergy.
Ooh, double nades. Youngstar, it's the second time he's been destroyed by those. I haven't taken him down for free. Kangini will manage to send Bambosh off the building to the cars below. Next foul, that's a lovely swing on Nora. Thankfully, K was already far pushed up, so he can trade it. But already a man advantage for Sangal to try and finish off this half with a lead. And that's beautiful stuff from Linus. He's 15-7, by the way. Quietly been building up those kills. He had a beautiful, of course, Deagle collateral earlier. And he's leading the way very nicely. Minio got Youngstar coming down the ladder on his right. Doesn't see it. Perhaps his res is slightly different. And he didn't see it at all. Sangal have a slight lead, 7-5. See you after a quick break. second half of Sangal and 9. Let's see if Sangal can close this one out 2-0. Or if 9 have more to say on the CT side. Been a pretty good fight for them so far today, considering what they're having to play with.
Yeah,
not the roster they want. And look at this little setup from 9 under the B stairs. Is Bambosh ready for this?
Well, how can you be, Trav? How can you be ready for this? Two players going to get boosted up. Flash over the top. There's... Oh, smokes first. Now the utility continues to rein in. Bambosh will catch a glimpse of somebody before he's blinded up. Eventually loses his life out. That was to be expected. Xbox needs to get the reload in. Bomb is going to get on the side here as well, but 9 have rotated thick and fast.
They have, and look at K on the big flank. That's 2 kills with the dualies. Spamming away, doing so much work. Xbox finally removed him. Gangidio, though, that's 2 big headshots, and he finishes off the last. Oh, he had a slow map 1, didn't he? Had a nice couple of multi-frags at the end on Ancient, but he's having some big impact on map 2.
Yeah, that was a huge multi-kill coming through from Ganginio. I thought K's flank there was going to completely unravel the round for Sangal, but not to be the case. Despite his double, it will be forgotten as the round goes the way of the T side. 9 going to spend all their money coming into next year, try and make the force buy work, but if they lose, this is double digits for Sangal. That's going to be a tough position for 9 to recover from, Traps. There's a lot riding on this force buy right now.
Salsal, ooh, okay. This force buy you mentioned. Nice aggression from Norot though. Actually, it's him with the M4, and he does really well to get that one frag. Bambosh directly under the window, and Sangal are going to make this a little bit different and a little bit goofy. It's going to be mid to A instead. And they're going to go through Heaven instead as well, and that's not working out for them at all. Minio's 1 dig Linus. Salsal needs to answer back, and he does brilliantly. 2 versus 2. K is still lurking around here. Do they even know he's close? He's checking Salsal properly,
wow.
But Salsal has done absolutely everything right in that scenario. He's got all 4 kills in this round, and he's cleaned up the risk beautifully.
I mean, it was looking like 9 were they were on the brink of winning the force buy. 4 versus 2, everything was going swimmingly for them, and then all of a sudden they were drowning, Trav. They were drowning, and nobody was there to help them. Salsal just Goomba stomping each of them.
Beautiful stuff, yeah. I mean, that was also scary as well for him because he had to try and find a way to isolate those fights, which really wasn't easy in that tight area near Heaven and that little L connector. Minio's doing a pretty good job here. That damage he's done to Ganginio, he rightly realises will be enough to make him die to the bomb, so it doesn't face any further. So that's a good AK save.
Okay, well, let's see. Trav, because of that AK they've carried through, it looks like that's going to coerce them into going for another force here. They are pushing all their chips into the middle of the table right now. And Youngster's kept the Deagle because he's expecting to play against Nico in this next round here. This could be a problem. Looks like Sangal are going to keep this simple though, direct. B bomb sites where they grouped up right now, at least outside of it, but 9, they've got players to deal with what's about to be thrown at them.
Bambosh pushing up, gets himself his 1, but Youngster has a penalty shot on Minio actually. That wasn't easy, and now I think Sangal are aware there are at least 2 more towards B, so 1 minute 15 on the clock, there's no reason to commit to this. Tamiko tries to cross back though with utility coming his way and can't get away. Suddenly this is looking a lot easier for Sangal.
Been some really good recoveries in these rounds from Sangal as well, where they don't have much going for them. A quick clean shot from 1 or 2 of their players turns the tide. This time it was Youngster with a beautiful dig shot there to maintain control, because there was so much utility raining in towards the stairs. It looked really uncomfortable for the T side. Either way, now they head over towards A. Are they privy to the threat of sandbags? Are they going to hard clear this? They have to. I mean, you're here so late in the round, you cannot assume this is empty right now. Norot has 2 lined up, a lot of damage done, but nothing fatal.
Heartbreaker there. You always feel like those situations are perfect. To get at least a couple of kills. But not this time. And I think this series is now ebbing away from 9. They've kept it close the entirety of the night, but now Sangal are pulling away and are finally going to break this losing streak they have on Vertigo as well. At least that's what it's looking like.
Yeah, getting ahead of yourself there potentially, Trav. Just going to rein you in there.
Okay. Listen, I'm a 9 enjoyer as much as the next person, but
that's true, and you have been for a long time as well.
I have
Before
been.
it was cool.
Before it was cool. I even got a P2000 skin with 9 glitter stickers on it. So
that's awesome.
It's very pretty.
I mean, I just want to think back now. 9 were leading 12-8 on Ancient. They lost, what, 16-13, I think it was in the end. So they won 1 round, and they lost 8 in the process from leading 12-8. Okay. Carry that into Vertigo and add that to the tally. They've won 6 rounds, while Sangal have won 18 since that 12-8 scoreline on Ancient. 9 have won 6 rounds, while Sangal have won 18 since then.
Incredible.
This time they will blink. Half buy for the CT side. Still weapons at their disposal, though. Can't count them out of it.
Good start. And it's still a pretty nice purchase for 9. It means even if they find a way to lose in this 5v3 now, they can have something in the next as well. As you can see, the money left over, but they're in a good position now with 3 having armor. 257 still in play. We know how powerful they can be. Youngstar will make his way through mid with xFloud. xFloud has still got full utility. So there's a chance on this one. They've kind of caught the timing in mid here as well. All 9 aren't checking this. There's Youngstar with 1. This is where it could fall apart. There are still 2 players here. Good reaction, and Norup was always going to come in on that flank to deal with Salsol. So I think they realised what was going on. And the repositioning from Bambosh was pretty good. 3 kills for him in that one. And that is pretty big. And you mentioned me getting ahead of myself. Look at the money on Sangal. Maybe I was.
Yeah, 10-6. They'll go all in here, will Sangal, but they lose this. 10-7 becomes 10-8. We've already seen that 9 are capable of making comebacks. Is that going to be the case here once again? Is there still some life left in this game for 9? A twist in the tail. Let's see what's going to happen here. Sangal need just 3 more rounds here in regulation to cap the game off 2-0. And there's going to be contact towards ramp. I actually thought K was going to get a free frag there. Nade is off the mark as well. Well, they're wondering, where's he gone? How's he gotten out of there? But he's escaped them completely.
This is a weird situation now. I mean, as you say, like full investment. 3 AKs isn't bad. But 9 have a path back into this one, but not if flashes are as good as that on Minio. xFloud sends Linus in, and the Tech 9 is successful. Nora is once again sandbags, but this time an AK and not an MP9. The flash comes through to give him a little shoulder peek. I think they've spotted him there. Thankfully, of course, he does have a smoke, so he doesn't need to give up his life. And okay, he does put out that molly. I'm not sure actually that molly was going to reach, but he's going to take that opportunity anyway to fall back from the position. And K plays it cheeky, just walking through the gap smoke. Ganginio was staring at it because he knew that they knew Norop put out that molly, so he was focused on that. Bambosh spots the information toward B, and now he can wait for rotations.
I mean, if Sangal could at least get a bomb plant, that would give them an injection of cash going into the next round, and that's what they're going for right now, but no, completely unsuccessful. Southall nearly gets a 3rd kill on the spray down there. A stray bullet would have connected to the head potentially, but Norot will get the kill. That's 10-7. Trav, Sangal's economy's been broken, and 9 are finding a way to keep themselves in it once again.
I don't believe in the caster curse. I always say this to you. I say this to everyone I cast with. But I'm sorry. This game's on again. Absolutely on again. Full eco coming in. 10-8. CT side for 9. Probably a side that at least they can sort out setups on and feel relatively comfortable in their positions and their roles. Norot has watched more than enough of this squad to know what to do.
Yeah, and how they play.
True. I mean, it was pretty funny. I think I remember an old Norot tweet something along the lines of, listen, we win on Vertigo all the time, but remove this terrible map or something.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny to show his feelings on where this one should go. I mean, that's my personal feeling as well. I think a nice revamped train for Vertigo would be nice after the major. We'll see.
Yeah, I would love to see Train coming into the active duty map pool. That would be a real pleasure. I am a Train enjoyer.
That's nice. That's actually really nice for 9. That's all 5 alive. They had a decent bank anyway, but that just buffs it. So, they'll have multiple chances. Even if they lose everything. Sangal need to find a way again. But of course on Vertigo, it can happen just like that. A couple of random headshots on the B stairs angles or on ramp, for example. It can be volatile.
Really important round here for Sangal. They've been in a good position throughout the entirety of this half so far. Southsoul's feet not going to get spotted. Does he walk into the crosshair? He does, but Southsoul is really moving. He's now completely blinded by the flash. Does not stand a chance. He ate that flash bang like it was a meal. Nothing happy about that one. And that's going to be a great opening kill for 9.
Another opening. Alright, entitled with gap this time. Not sticking himself and keeping stuck to sandbags. Working mid. He might have some good timing on this though. This round is definitely not done. Tamiko finds that lurk. That's really important. And now Kane needs to be careful. Thankfully that smoke is actually put down at a decent time, but he still gets taken down. And the rotations are already here. It's down to Linus. The mouse wheel jump happens and it puts him on 1 HP. Oh, puts him on 1 HP. Doesn't matter because Bambosh has shifted into the angle and makes it really easy for Linus. And Minio's only 38 as well. This 1 HP really doesn't mean that much in this clutch now. It's pretty even. There's no HE, of course, on Minio. He's going to charge in. Linus escapes to B. And now it's a standoff. Who swings first? Linus is probably thinking to himself, I have to take the initiative. I'm low, but Minio is playing so patient. And that is years of Vertigo experience coming to help out there. 9's blushes are spared.
Yeah, brilliant patience there from Minio in the 1 versus 1. I love the way Linus plays that situation as well. It was a great attempt from the IGL in the 1v3. First 2 kills looked really good. I mean, Sangal, they have kind of been in tatters in these past few rounds on the T side. Wouldn't mind a pause, and that's exactly what we're going to get. Because they've been in some disarray, I would say, these past few rounds on their T side. Losing opening picks consistently, no trades coming through either. Need to turn things around here because they're running out of time. 1 round is all they've got. And will they even go for an investment chip trap? Do you go for the half buy? Guarantee a full buy in the next, maybe?
I could see 1 player, Tech 9, decent util, 2 or 3 players, Galil, Kevlar, because they can still buy with 3,400 loss. And they're actually fully investing rather than doing that. So you should be the coach. You called for the timeout. They timeouted, if that's a phrase I can use. And I didn't call that, so, you know. Jumpy who?
Yeah. Gonna be jumpying into his role soon here, man.
Alright, calm down.
One
It's
can
big
dream,
though.
Trav.
I mean, honestly, it's really not that bad. I mean, you mentioned, of course, having full loss means that feel comfortable to still go for these investments. The only thing that really is the issue is the utility, and they've still got enough, right? They've got 2 smokes to maybe do an execute on A. The basic answer on Vertigo. And a couple of mollies too, so it's actually absolutely fine.
Alright, well. Sangal taking their time, recognizing the magnitude of this round. As we've already highlighted, historically they've struggled quite a lot on Vertigo. T side is where they normally do a bit better though, 49% win rates on their T side. They're going to be hoping that gets carried through here right now. has been quite a lot of space afforded to them over towards the B sides, and you don't really blame 9 because they took the deep control towards stairs, and now they're kind of just relying on having those phantom players in place and hoping Sangal are worried about those players in the close positions. Minio's here, he's got support as well.
Oh, and that's wild timing to spray that smoke. He does so much damage, gets 1 kill, but neither, if you get what I mean. And so much damage has been done. Surely Tomiko gets set up, but only a 1-for-1. Now it's interesting. It's Nora and K. K is on this quick flank. Southall has already shot 1 bullet close up and he's only 39 health. Swing comes through, but he wins it through the plywood. And now it's Nora in the open. Let's go. Nora, the old coach of 9, wouldn't this be something to step up? He's using the Minio strategy of biding his time, waiting for Southall to peek first, head spotted, but now he can move back, and that's when Southall swings. That's super bold from Southall, and he gets away with it. 2 incredibly impactful kills, 1 through the wood, 1 while he was just in the open on low HP. Sangal get away with it.
That's exactly why I was laughing the way that I was, is because how brave Minio was. I couldn't really believe that he just swings that in the 1v1. Not keen to play time. He just wants to try and finish off the job. Gets incredibly close. Now, neither team has any money in the bank. They both have to empty their pockets to afford the investment. Oh, goodness. Oh, Southall, he wants to pick up where he left off on that B bomb site. He will get dropped off in the underworld. Linus is going to take so much damage from that HE grenade.
Wait,
it's advantage 9.
That did so much. He was 73 health, now he's 17. What the hell? Probably max damage nade. Minio, oh, he tried to take initiative in mid. You know, xCloud's been the man to do that basically the entire game. And stop it before he goes any further, and it's not going to work out. And Youngstar, Nora and Kay caught dallying about in the middle of the site, not in good positions yet, and that's going to punish them. Sangal are going to reach match points here. Tomiko has no say in this.
Yeah, and unfortunately he's going to try and save the AK. No, they've got their knives out! It's a gentleman's agreement! Tomiko says knife out because he wants the movement speed to get the gun. xCloud wants the knife frag. Style points are plenty. 12-9, no money, 4-9. And this could be the end, Trav, the end of the road. Yeah,
and 9 are stuck on 9 at the moment as well. xCloud, you cheeky boy. Wasn't needed, but actually, you know, might be impactful if somehow 9 win a couple of rounds here. Extra bit of cash injection. But the buy that 9 have to stay alive in this BO3 is an MP9, like that too. Deagle a 5.7 and 1 M4. The M4's on the right player. Tomiko had a great day so far. But Sangal are set up for this win now. It's been tight, it's been squeaky.
Been very tight. Especially with the way they were able to get across the line on Ancient. I love what I've seen from Sangal, and I love the tone that they're setting here for Season 47, Trav. Showing their contenders here to claim one of those top 2 spots in Group D.
Yeah, and it has to be said, Group D, I christened it D standing for death earlier. It is one of the best groups probably in ECL this season, with both 9 Pandas and Movistar Koi in the group, of course, having both recently qualified for the major. They're going to be on a high. So a good start for Sangal is a necessity.
Oh, Minio is spotted. Bit of chip damage coming through there from Southall. He's just playing this B-lurk really well right now. He's keeping the CTs interested. However, they have been making moves over towards the opposite side of the map. They've got the stack and they've got Norot in towards Skinny. So they're very well set up on the side of this map. Does anybody consider this from the T side? Doesn't look like it. Oh my god, youngster. Phenomenal reaction speed coming through from him. Norot tries to trade, but he offers himself up on a silver platter. 2v5, job done. Right?
Right. K doesn't have a kit. The bomb's not yet planted, and he's actually trying to escape through the smoke. Actually, the bomb did go down before he swung, but yeah, in the end, K gives it up. Youngstar seals it. And very well played from Sangal. That gotta give a lot of credit to 9. They fought very, very well with a tough roster situation, but Sangal were the better team in the end, and it showed.
Yeah, really good work coming through there. I mean, I'm very impressed from what I've seen from Sangal throughout the series, man. I mean, the fight back coming through from them to get across the line on Ancient, just despite the fact they were down 8-12 was really good. And then on Vertigo, they were in control, I'd say, for almost the entirety of the map. Maybe there was a brief period there where it looked a bit shaky in the second half, but Sangal, like I said, they've set the tone for the rest of the season, man.
They have indeed. I believe we'll have your map MVP and then series MVP quickly to follow. We can have a quick chat about. I'm guessing
Linus on the second map.
Yeah,
right?
It has to be Linus on the second map, but overall I'm taking Salsal. Yeah. We'll see.
I'm with you on both accounts, Trav.
It's down to the magic of production to show us whether we're right or not on that one. It is Linus for Vertigo. 19 and 15. He had a brilliant CT half. Lots of him. I think he ended the CT half with 15, I believe, and he got 4 on T. But yeah, he was superb. That legal collateral was probably one of the most memorable moments for sure. And yeah, the series MVP will be coming very soon, and we can figure out who that will be, of course. I think it's going to be Salsal. We shall find out. But yeah, Group D, I mentioned it, of course. I mentioned Nine Pandas and Koi. It's only right for me to mention the other squads in that group as well. TSM. Eyeballers, which are a good team, you know, by all accounts at this level of CS. TSM, they're all over the place. Who knows what they will show from day to day. They've got some name value as well as some player name value, but we don't know how they're going to show. Of course, we've got Nine and Sangal alongside Nine Pandas and Koi. So it's a very, very tough group. So yeah, really important for Sangal to get off to a great start.
Yeah, absolutely is. And I'm excited to see what they're going to accomplish. I mean, yes, it's a difficult group, but there's no reason they couldn't qualify in the top 2 spots, right? I'm really keen to see their development over the next few weeks and months. And they don't have, you know, the stress and the pressure of the major. They can kind of got like an open field in front of them, right? They've got quite a lot of time to continue to work in the offline server as well.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
not as many officials potentially could bode well for them.
That actually can help, yeah. I mean, as you say, I mean, obviously it's a fantastic thing for Movistar Koi and Nine Pandas to both make the major, especially in Nine Pandas' case, because, you know, that's a bit of a fairy tale storyline with how they made it, with 30-year-old Glowing absolutely going ham to help them qualify for that. A lifer, yeah. But that could easily... you know, I mean, post-major, whatever result they have could still, as I said, with Saw the other day, could mean a bit of a hangover that maybe teams like Sangal can exploit. Yeah. But yeah, I believe we have Series MVP very shortly.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at it. I believe we've got it ready in a moment or two. And yeah, that'll be, after that, that'll be the end of today. So it's going to be, it was pretty fun. Then it is Salsal. There we go. Look at that. 81 ADR. Not too bad, of course, over 2 maps. He was very, very impactful. On map 1, and map 2 is a little bit more quiet, but I think map 1 performance, especially that spray transfer, that memorable spray transfer in mid, is enough to make it memorable for him.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great performance, and certainly one of the catalysts for their success. Very happy with what I saw from Sangal, and looking forward to seeing more, especially now with Jumpy joining the ranks. Keen to see their development over the next few months. But Trav, yeah, what do you want to finish it off with, mate? I can see the words coming through.
I just wanted to say it's been a pleasure once again to share the mic with you, and we're back tomorrow. We're not back together. You're going to be casting with Dean, and I'm going to be casting with Scrib. We both will be covering the ESL Challenger Melbourne closed qualifiers tomorrow, which is not tomorrow. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun. We've got some teams like Nine Pandas and Movistar Koi, I think, both invited to that close qualifier, but all looking, of course, for a trip down under. So we'll be back tomorrow with that, but for now, we'll say goodnight and sleep well.